अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट लाइला आतिफ विद अनदर न्यू एपिसोड ऑफ लाइमलाइट विद लाइला आतिफ में आई एम सुपर एक्साइटेड टुडे विद माय गेस्ट टुडे। वो उसका तो मैं आपको चल के आगे बताऊंगी कि आज मेरे स्टूडियोज़ में कौन मौजूद हैं, लेकिन उससे पहले उन्हीं से रिलेटेड मैं एक बात यहाँ पे बताना चाहूँगी कि आप ऐप जो है हमारी फेसबुक की वो तो ज़रूर जानते होंगे। आपको याद है कि आपको सबसे पहले फेसबुक में का किसने बताया था, या आपने किस वजह से फेसबुक बनाया था, और आपका फेसबुक फ्रेंड सबसे पहले कौन था? मुझे ये सारी चीज़ें याद हैं और वो मेरे आज के गेस्ट से बहुत ज़्यादा कनेक्टेड है। सो आई एम सुपर एक्साइटेड टू लेट यू नो हु माय गेस्ट इज़। बट उससे पहले चल के हम उनके बारे में एक छोटा सा स्लाइड शो देखते हैं और हम देखते हैं कि वो क्या करती हैं, कौन है, और चल के फिर हम उनसे बातों का सिलसिला शुरू करेंगे। वेलकम बैक। तो देखा आपने कि आज के हमारे गेस्ट कौन हैं, और बहुत ही अमेजिंग पर्सनालिटी है। मेरे पास आज अल्फाजों की बहुत ही किल्लत हो रही है, मेरे पास इतने अल्फाज नहीं हैं कि मैं उनका तारुफ किन अल्फाज से करूं। शी वॉज माई मेंटोर एंड शी इज़, और मेरी असातिज़ा रह चुकी हैं वो जब मैं यहाँ पर नई आई थी, और माशाल्लाह से उनके बहुत ज़्यादा सारे बिजनेसेस हैं जो वो रन कर रही हैं। शी इज़ MA इन इंग्लिश, शी इज़ MPhil इन फ़िलासफ़ी इन इंग्लिश, और वो अपना यहाँ पर बिज़नेस रन कर रही हैं आइल्स का। इसके साथ साथ वो अपने सन इन लॉ के साथ इमिग्रेशन फर्म भी रन करती हैं। और चल के मैं आपको उनसे मुलाकात करवाती हूँ। इस वक्त मेरे स्टूडियो में मौजूद हैं नवप्रीत अरोरा और विशाल मलिक। हेलो एंड वेलकम टू द शो।
Hello Lana, thank you.
कैसी हैं आप?
बहुत अच्छी हूँ. I'm so excited to be part of this, evening talks. And I have with me Vishal, who takes care of our immigration services, which is 10 provinces immigration. And I run ielts-power-program.business.site programs. And my company name is English Educators Limited.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, बहुत शुक्रिया आप दोनों का। थैंक यू विशाल फॉर कमिंग एंड गिविंग अस द टाइम। एंड नवप्रीत, आपके पीछे तो मैं बहुत दिनों से पड़ी हुई थी, एंड थैंक यू सो मच, फाइनली यू टुक आउट द टाइम फ्रॉम योर बिजी स्केड्यूल। तो नवप्रीत, सबसे पहले देखने वालों को मैं ये आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी बल्कि कि आप हमें बताएं कि आप कनाडा कब आई और किस तरह आप यहाँ पर आपका टीचिंग में आपका किस तरह जो है वो फर्स्ट स्टेप हुआ, और आपका शायद बचपन का शौक था टीचिंग, तो इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए।
Sure. So I moved to this country in 2003. It was July 20th, 2003, and I was working as an English professor in India, and I had experience of about 10 years teaching there. And when we moved here, I had something in my mind that when I was teaching English back home, I was teaching IELTS there as well, and I always felt that there's something missing that I'm not being able to give to my students there. So I knew there is a program called as TESOL, Teaching of English as Second Language. So when I moved here, I joined that program. I finished that program. It was a very rigorous, intense program. I finished it, and then I started looking for a job. And the first job, Laila, I got it in Muslim Community Services.
Okay, that was your first job.
That was my first job. So I volunteered there. No, I was called on. I was invited on a call basis, and then the director liked my teaching, and students also approached the director. They wanted me to work for them.
Yeah.
And that's how I started my career of teaching English as second language in Canada.
Nice.
Yeah.
तो थोड़ा सा ये बताइए कि मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी में जब आपने as a volunteer you said first और अपनी job
as a supply basis, on call basis, yeah, they called me. Yeah, that was my first.
So how was that experience? Because सब नए immigrants हैं and सबकी अलग-अलग stories हैं, and I know कि you have been like looking so many different people and उनके experiences आप सुनती थी क्योंकि मैं भी आपकी ही student थी जब हम आते थे. So how does like आपको क्या मैं तो आपके साथ connected हूँ definitely through Facebook, जो मैं बल्कि देखने वालों को बताना चाह रही थी, आप सबसे पहली वो इंसान हैं कि जिन्होंने हमें Facebook का बताया था in the class, and do you remember that?
Probably,
you
yeah.
were the first person and you said, tomorrow guys when you all come I want to see Facebook friend request on my phone, every single one of you. So she was the one, and honestly at that time I never realized, I take it for granted, and on Facebook I'm doing so many businesses.
That's lovely. I'm so happy that you remember those first moments.
So thank you so much for that. और again मैं ये पूछना चाहूँगी कि आपके साथ कुछ स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो अभी तक कनेक्टेड हैं और उनकी क्या एक्सपीरियंसेस वो शेयर करते हैं और कितना फ़ायदा हुआ था उस वक्त हम लोगों को ESL का ECE या ESL था.
Yeah, so as you were mentioning earlier that मेरा experience, how was my experience teaching people from other countries. So I myself was very new to the country. I myself was learning Canadian culture, Canadian things, Canadian political system, Canadian ways of life. So as I was teaching, I was challenging myself to learn that because the next day I have to teach that. So it was a great experience for me, both learning and then teaching at the same time, the same thing. And I still remember, when the Facebook started, I did encourage my students to make, Facebook account and be friends. So this was something new at that point of time. And if I look at my history of working with MCS, I think I have taught people from more than 60, 70, 80 countries. I don't know how many countries.
That's
so it's a very rich experience that I gained there, and I really thoroughly enjoyed working there. The staff was great, and I got lots of opportunity to, grow myself in my career. I presented in TESOL conferences, and I was given some assignments to be done for the school. So on the whole, it was great learning experience for me.
Right.
Yeah.
और इस तरह आपको कितने सारे मुल्कों के लोगों से भी मिलने का मौका मिलता था ना?
Absolutely.
And everybody shared their own, experiences and stuff. So उसके बाद फिर आप business में किस तरह आई? When did you realize, okay, now this is the time, let's open an institute, and जो आपने सीखा है वो आप आगे थोड़ा सा उसको बढ़ाएं अपने students के लिए?
So when I was teaching in MCS, I got lots of opportunities to present in conferences and showcase my ability and learn more from those events. I was definitely seeing myself that I can take challenge.
Okay.
So then I moved from there. I was teaching in college in India, so I had a dream to go back to college and teaching there. So I got an opportunity to work with Sheridan College ESL department. So I worked there for a couple of years.
Nice.
And as I was teaching there, somebody approached me, one of my students approached me for IELTS here. And when I started teaching that student IELTS, I started teaching at home only. And then I realized that there's tons of potential there, and people are not, people who are teaching IELTS, they are either not licensed or they are not, into this field. They are just teaching, because they have language skills or something. And those were not very much result-oriented programs that people were running.
Can you do that if you're not licensed?
So yes, you can do that. But however, are you giving success to the students? So then I thought, okay, I have that potential. I have that knowledge. I must, help my community, people around who are looking for, and specifically, international students, when they have to file their PR, they need IELTS score.
Yes.
Then there are people who want to go back to school, college, university for their, upgrading their academics. So they also need IELTS academic. And
so you offer so many different programs.
So yes, I do offer IELTS, both academic and general. Then there is another program that started, a decade ago by, Canadian Language Benchmark. They started CELPIP, which is required, which is again a high-stake English exam, but it is a Canadian exam.
And that stands for, if you can?
It is Canadian English Language Proficiency Index program.
So it's different than IELTS.
Definitely, it is. It's very different. IELTS is conducted by British Council with liaison IDP, but CELPIP is very much Canadian exam, and CLBs are measured.
And why you need CELPIP exam for, like, what?
Yes, so CELPIP is needed for two purposes. Number one is for immigration, so it stands, equally strong as our ELTS is. It's acceptable by immigration. He would be knowing that better.
Yeah.
And then CELPIP is also required for your citizenship, basically. So if you want to become a citizen of this country after getting a PR, you have to have CELPIP LS requirements of CLB4. So these are the two areas where CELPIP is required for immigration purpose and for your citizenship.
Very, very well explained. So हम थोड़ा सा विशाल की तरफ आते हैं. थोड़ा विशाल को भी हम बातें करने का मौका देते हैं because where there is a woman, आदमियों को थोड़ा सा कम मौका मिलता है. तो थोड़ा सा विशाल, tell us about yourself when you landed to Canada, or what's your background, a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So I was born over in Alberta, Western Province, in Fort McMurray, oil town, if you will. So like everyone in Canada, my father and granddad were immigrants to this country. They came here when my dad was just 10 years old. We moved to Alberta when my dad just happened to get a job there. That's where my brother and I were born. Lived there for a few years, moved to the Middle East, and then we returned to Canada to complete our Canadian education and as well as start our professional lives.
Middle East, which city?
In Bahrain.
In Bahrain. Yes, oh, wow. Exactly. He looks Lebanese, actually. He has that touch. All right.
That's a nice compliment.
So, and then after Bahrain, you did your schooling over there.
Yes. Just did high school over there and then came back here because obviously, Canada is where I was born. It's where I plan to be long term. So did university here and then started pursuing my CPA designation, chartered accountant.
So why chartered accountant? What motivates you?
I mean, I've always been good with math and numbers.
Calculators.
I guess it's chartered accountant is like a logical type of way of thinking. Whereas I think with science it's more theory based. So,
right.
I always found it more straight and logical.
You don't like the dissection of frogs then?
Yeah, no. I did that in grade 10. It was fun, but never again. No thanks.
I know, right? Scary.
And similar with immigration, right? Where these are like rule-based type of occupation. So I find I'm good to focus on these
more
straight and narrow, like rules, logic, yes, no type of thing.
Perfect.
versus theory. I was fortunate enough to meet my wife here in Brampton.
Tell us about that. I wanted to know that. Like, how come you got such a beautiful mother-in-law, such a beautiful wife?
I mean,
tell us a little bit about where did you find Saki?
Just great luck, actually. Nowadays it's there's many different ways to meet people. So we were fortunate to meet and I ended up getting a great mother-in-law.
Can I say that it was love at first sight? Or it took a little while?
No, it took a little while.
For her or you?
I think, like I said, I'm a very logical person. So let's see where this goes.
A lot of time, right?
It took a couple of years. Very happy,
not
and
bad.
we have a beautiful daughter.
Oh wow!
She's also a chartered
What's her name?
Her name is Sophia.
Sophia. So how she looks? Do you guys fight that she's on my? She looks like me, or
if you ask her side of the family, they'll say maybe her because they'll look at her and they'll remember their daughter, like her daughter as a baby.
Some kids are like mixtures.
Yeah. Whereas with me, like my parents look at her, they remember me.
Exactly.
So while managing that, we both Saki, my wife, is also a chartered accountant.
Amazing.
She also has full time.
Best fit, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, two logical.
So how was the feel when you first become a dad? Like when you took your daughter in your hand, I wanted to know because everybody, like Navpreet, me, all of me have been through that feeling. So I want to know how the guy feels.
Yeah, I mean, we were both in the same room actually, but it's a life-changing moment, right? Like things will not be the same.
And I think you become a little bit more calm. I don't know if you.
I'm already.
You're already calm.
Very calm.
But there are so many other things that I see in guys that they are more calm when they see the birth of their.
Maybe your heart expands a bit.
Exactly. Well, that's good to know. And then you started your own business. Tell us about that.
Yes, that's right. So while my wife was on maternity leave, and obviously with the great things that are happening, with the English as a second language business, we thought that maternity leave, pandemic, stuck at home.
Oh, you started in pandemic.
Yes, just when it got started. My wife is fortunate enough to have a good maternity package where she was able to be off for a substantial period of time. And luckily our first year of our daughter's birth was, I won't say easy, but she was a very calm predictable baby, napping and all that. So we thought, okay, you know, we have some time. I think it was you that suggested to us. Actually, you know, that this is probably this is a good opportunity.
She's the mastermind.
Yeah. And you know, obviously, like I said, you know, we're all immigrants to this country, so you know, we know what everyone goes through.
Right.
Once in a while, you hear unfortunate stories of people being duped by, you know, non-regulated immigration consultants from back home or even within Canada.
Right.
And so we thought, you know, just like we are professional chartered accountants, we thought, okay, you know, this is also a professional designation. It's something we have, fortunately, the time to do.
Right.
Let's pursue this. We can work in partnership.
Right.
And it would be a good opportunity.
And I guess both the professions syncs equally, right?
Exactly.
IELTS and then the immigration.
Perfect.
Yes. And that's what we thought too. You know, synergies, utilizing resources. It was a very good opportunity.
So how was the response like when you started the business? Do you find a little bit struggling in the beginning, or like
it was? I mean, the fortunate thing, which maybe we'll speak about later, was, you know, at that time too, the government had launched a lot of programs. You know, borders were closed, so the government had to get creative to meet their PR target. They had programs like TR to PR, where, you know, temporary residents who were new graduates or who maybe had jobs that were not as skilled as the standard jobs, there were pathways to PR for these people.
Right.
And so that was around the time when we started the business, and we were fortunate to get clients through that stream. So we actually got off to quite a good start, despite things like border closures, slowdown in terms of immigration, but we were fortunate to have a good start.
I think that was the right time, actually, if we see the situations happening in COVID. How long have your business, this business?
It's just in its second year now.
Second year, okay. We'll continue our talk with Navpreet and Vishal. We have in studio. वक्त हुआ एक छोटी सी ब्रेक का, मिलते हैं आपसे एक छोटी सी कमर्शियल ब्रेक के बाद. वेलकम बैक आफ्टर द ब्रेक. हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में नवप्रीत अरोरा मौजूद हैं, जिनका अपना आइल्स का इंस्टीट्यूट है ब्रैम्पटन में, और हमारे साथ विशाल मलिक मौजूद हैं कि जो कि इमिग्रेशन फर्म को रन करते हैं. सो नवप्रीत, अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि पावर प्रोग्राम क्या है आप जो प्रोवाइड करती हैं, थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में हमें बताइए.
श्योर लैला. सो मैं 3-4 सर्विसेज जो है मेन जो हमारा कोर सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करते हैं. फर्स्ट आई विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. सो आई डू ऑफर IELTS power program, I offer CELPIP power program, and then I also offer citizenship power programs.
ठीक है. And sorry to cut you, ये सारे programs की length एक ही है या every program has different?
No, every program has a different length. Okay. Different length है. So ये power program इसलिए है कि directly जो students जब आते हैं, most of the clients जो students आते हैं IELTS की coaching लेने के लिए आते हैं, they have already written this exam before.
Okay.
So, and most of the students are sitting at intermediate level, and then at that point of earlier, 2 years ago during COVID and before COVID, the requirement was very, very high, which was, to get 8 777 band, which means they have to have 8 bands in listening and 7 in speaking, 7 in reading.
So still are the same band, the requirements?
So it depends on case to case, but majority of the international students, they needed that one. So then I designed this program. It is called as Power Program. It is totally competency-based program, and it is not like a only practice program, which traditionally usually people run practice program. You go to that institute or somebody, and they will give you some work to practice, and then they help you, finding the mistakes and correcting your mistakes. So, but Power Program is unique program. In this program, you will get one session with one module only, and in one module also, I will just pick up one part of the module, and I will teach that thoroughly, systematically to up till band 8.
Okay.
So when students are, listening to that step-by-step understanding of that, how the language production that they do while speaking or writing, how it is measured, how it is calculated, and how they themselves can achieve to that level.
They're going to have better understanding.
They have better understanding. Yeah, it's very step-oriented. Yes, and then only one core topic is picked up, one core competency is picked up in a day. For example, even if I'm teaching reading module, so I'm not teaching reading everything of reading. I'm just teaching, couple of types of questions that day. So I'm focusing on one type of questions.
Yeah, so people can get confused otherwise, so overwhelmed if you touch base on every single category.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I just pick up 2 or 3 competencies for reading, and then I'm teaching only specifically to that.
Right.
Similarly, if I'm teaching them speaking, because speaking, people always think, okay, the more we speak, the better we get.
Yeah.
Yes, there is no doubt about that. But before that, you also need to know what you have to speak.
Exactly.
Right? So you just cannot speak anything that comes to your mind.
Right.
So understanding the questions that would be asked and how to answer those questions, specifically, what core competencies are measured and what the core answer I need to give for those questions. So it's a very well organized, very well planned and competency-based program where each student will get to know that, where their shortcomings are. As I'm moving step by step, teaching them, they can identify, oh, this is the place where I made mistake. Oh, this was what I was thinking of, but this is not, I have to do like this. So this is how I have to do. So the whole program runs for 10 power sessions. So it's 10 power sessions.
And how long?
It gets covered in 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. 3 to 4 weeks. And we are very, flexible also, because 100% of the students who come to us, they are working. So scheduling is a huge problem. So looking at their schedule, we are very flexible. We try to provide them scheduling. And also, this is not like back home, and people come from many countries where there's tons of support available. But here the students are, my students, they are working also, they are taking some courses also, they are managing their personal lives also.
Many other things.
Many other things. So that's why I have created this power program, competency-based directly, so that they can, understand it better. And then we have also another feature where I have to mark their assignments. Okay. So which is which I do it on my own time. I don't time. So I teach them first, then I giving them assignments, and then I really force them to give my assignments within 24 hours. Nice. So then I check them, and that's how they get to know where their mistakes are. And Laila, one thing more, that this exam is so important for them. It's so important for them. If they don't get their bands, they cannot get their PR.
That's why you are doing too much already for them, that you are creating a program. You came up with all the things that they need, and then the thing that you are telling me, that you stop, you tell them their mistake, they correct it, and then you move forward. That's amazing.
Exactly.
That is amazing.
Thank you very much.
Another thing I wanted to know, if you can tell our audience, that what's the admission criteria? Do you need some prerequisites or like something, if you want to talk about the admission?
Sure. So 70% of our students' intake is that they have already written this exam before at any point of their, education study or moving to this country. But when they move to this country, they come with usually 6 bands overall, or maybe 6.5. But if the requirements are 8,777, they need to take help, professional help. But 30% of the students are those who have never written their exam. So never written their exam. So first we do the needs assessment. So first, when I do the needs assessment, what is the requirement, general or academic, or what band requirement, then I do their assessment. So it's a 4 hours assessment. We do it in 1 day or in 2 days. So each skill is being assessed. So we assign 1 hour of writing, 1 hour of reading, around 45 minutes of listening, and 20 minutes of speaking. And then I mark it and I assess it, and then I showcase them that this is your score, this is where you are at this point of time, this is where you are right now standing, and this is where you are, and this is where your target is. And then what is your study path to reach to that one.
Amazing.
So
So Vishal, if we go back to your immigration form, can I know what services do you provide, if we want to tell to our audience?
Yes.
Like if they want to come and see you, for what purposes, what do you provide?
I mean, we provide all types of immigration advice and consulting. So, whether you need maybe some help or some advice on what programs to pursue, but we can also even, we have a regulated Canadian immigration consultant in-house. So because of that, we are able to actually submit applications on our client's behalf. We're able to communicate directly with Canadian immigration on our client's behalf. So some of the things would be applying for PR, creating profiles to upload and have yourself considered for PR, as well as temporary residence, such as visitor visa, work permit, study permit, and everything in between. Spousal sponsorship, people who are facing deportation, we can assist with that, and even citizenship. So, as we mentioned,
almost everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
What about super visa? That's the hot visa nowadays.
Yes, that's right. So, people who like their parents.
Is that the best one? Then calling your parents on a visitor visa? Do we go with the super visa?
Yes, it's a bit more long term, right? Like it's something that you can get up to 10 years. Your parents or whoever can remain here a bit longer. They don't have to worry about their time running out. They can stay a bit longer. And for example, if they have grandkids, they don't have to just come for a couple of months and then go back. It's a longer, more long-term visa. So that's definitely something we can help with too, as it is a super visa. You know, obviously there's a lot more things that need to be shown in order to have the application approved. So again, that is definitely something we can assist with or provide advice on. And you know, as we talked about PR, citizenship, again, all of these have a IELTS or language requirement. So again, you're lucky we have a good teacher too.
Amazing. So where are you located, if you want to mention the location?
Yes, we're located at Her Ontario and Steeles. I mean, the good thing is with the pandemic, everyone also got used to doing things virtually, right? So, you know, we've dealt with clients in British Columbia, clients back home in the subcontinent, you know, and you can just do things on Zoom all the time.
Right?
And, you know, the government, although it is a government website, they have been making improvements slowly. So most of the applications, if not all the applications, are submitted online. So the applications are electronic. You know, your virtual signature is all that's required. So sometimes there's not even really a need to meet in person and sign and scan and all that. And it means we can do things quicker. Like we found also that applications that are submitted electronically, they tend to be processed faster. You know, you don't get held up with postage or things like that. You just press submit and right away they've received it. They can start looking at it.
I would like to add something, you know, when he mentioned, you know, online things happening. So we are also providing coaching for IELTS and
I was about to ask that, that if you provide online or is just in person?
No, we do provide live sessions on Zoom. So there are schedules, they are already running. So I have taught people from Pakistan, two people from Pakistan, then India, definitely from Dubai, Halifax, Winnipeg, Montreal. So people have been approaching us, and because when they read the Google reviews and they see, you know, and then they call. So it's very easy now. It's very easy on, you know, with
technology has made everything so easy. The connection has been so easy. Otherwise, you know, if we go 10, 20 years back, you couldn't have hold on a person for months.
Exactly.
So where are you located? Your location?
So we are located at Her Ontario and Steeles. So there is a Buffalo Business Plaza. So
not
our
too
office
far,
is there.
We have.
So we work in the same place, but they have second location also in Mississauga. So sometime, you know, when they work from there, so they can be, you know, remotely, but you know, they have 2 days in a week they come and sit in my office.
And you have a website as well.
So I do have my website. It's English. It's EnglishEducators.com, and you would see, you know, tons of things there, what we offer, and there's some, you know, tutor support also available. Some very good information on these exams, how to book these exams. So all those information is available on EnglishEducators.com.
Perfect. So Vishal, if I ask you, was there any situation or scenario happen that there is a very tough, difficult, you know, case that came to you and you couldn't have think that how you were going to resolve it? So if you want to share something like that, if people who are watching us, that they gave up, that nothing is going to happen. So if they wanted to connect with you, can you mention like some example or something?
Sure. I mean, you know, the good thing is Canada in general is a great place to live. Obviously, a lot of people would focus on Ontario, maybe British Columbia, but you know, the good thing is that each province has their own provincial immigration program. So, you know, if you're willing to consider opportunities in provinces that maybe have a labor demand, you know, you can find yourself in a good situation, maybe even an accelerated situation to get yourself your permanent residency. An example to give would be, you know, someone in Ontario, they managed to find a job in British Columbia. They were considering whether they should stay in Ontario or move to British Columbia and start everything anew. This person happened to be in the tech sector, and you know, what they didn't know was that BC actually has an immigration program specifically for tech workers. And, you know, by coming to us and getting our advice, we were able to make them aware of this. And, you know, we basically told them that this provincial nomination program, it's called the BC Tech PNP. Basically, you know, they will give you PR if you meet certain criteria. They will help you get your work permit while you wait for that while you wait for your PR.
Nice,
And so, you know, this client of ours who, you know, had no hope, was fretting that his visitor visa was about to expire. He hadn't really, you know, he needed a work visa to start his job, a work permit to start his job, and he didn't have that. And meanwhile, his visitor visa is slowly expiring. But because we made him aware of this provincial nomination program, he was able to get his work permit. And he's applied for his PR, and any day now he should be hearing from that. So, you know, these are things where clients often think that there's no path for them.
Exactly.
And by coming to an expert or by consulting with our
you
CNC.
have right ways for them.
Exactly. We can always figure something out, or we can at least guide them into maybe considering something else.
Right.
There's many different ways to become a PR and an eventual citizen of Canada. A lot of people just have one path in mind. They think, okay, maybe I'll just be a student, or I need to just find a job. But there's a couple of other things, and by us, consulting with you, meeting with you, getting to know your needs, your background, we're better equipped then to provide personalized, tailored advice.
I remember Navpreet used to tell us that you have to go and do a research. Don't listen to like somebody and then think that, okay, this is the only way, and then just give up. But she was the one who used to tell us, go and do a research. So we used to get so many different ways of doing one thing that we were just already like, okay, we can't do anything. Same thing Vishal mentioned.
Yes.
Information. Like collect information and the right information, go to a right person. I know there are a lot of people doing the same thing, but then some people have, like you created a curriculum for your student, you came up with a new thing. I know there are so many other people offering IELTS, right? But you have something different. So that's amazing, awesome. So Navpreet, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी कि students आपके पास different आते हैं, तो क्या उनके पास डिफरेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन होती है, उनको कुछ नहीं पता होता आइल्स के बारे में, या ऑलरेडी वो बहुत सारे एग्जाम्स आप जैसे कि मेंशन कर रही थी कि देकर आते हैं, तो उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए.
Sure, I would definitely like to talk about that. So the students, who come for IELTS, they think that they can speak English. They think they are working in an English-speaking environment. So they think, okay, we will go and we'll write this exam and we'll see. So that attitude does not give them success, right?
Yeah.
So I always say, repair or prepare.
Yes.
So the fees of this one exam is $340.
Okay.
And these people, they do not know. Unfortunately, I feel very bad about them. They do not know the gravity of understanding of this program, that how we can prepare for this program so that we get success in the first go. And my power program guarantees the success in first go if you follow what I teach you. I guarantee that. But people do not, at first place, cannot think like that. And they will write the exam. And Laila, I had students, you won't even believe, who wrote, a girl from Scarborough came who wrote 30 times this exam.
Oh, no.
So, and every time she was spending $340, and every time she was saying, okay, let me try. I know I can do English. I don't know what, they don't give us the marks. They don't give us this thing.
I think a little bit of overconfidence is also not good. Plus, like it's 3 days of work, $345. Like, let's say if we earn $100 per day, it's like... And they're working hard. I know students are like, they have 2-3 different jobs.
Yes,
it's not easy.
Absolutely.
So that's good that you're mentioning that. I'm happy. Yeah.
Yes, because they think that we will be able to pass the exam. They will try again and again and again. But another unfortunate thing is that people come, when they come from different countries, they learn language in a very different way, not in a way the competencies are being measured. So they need to know that how our competencies are measured and at what level we have to operate. And if they are sitting at band 6, they are intermediate, higher intermediate, and now they have to reach at to 7, which is advanced. So they think it is only one band. So they think it's only one band. But I would say, one band, even CLBs, even if you have to improve one CLB, you have to put more than 250 hours of language immersion to enhance your level. So people are not aware of these little things that are very important. So they keep trying, but it's very, saddening and disappointing.
So that the one who did 30, then she was able to, she came to you and then she passed it.
Yes.
Oh, amazing, amazing.
Yeah. So again,
so
you have to
approach
unlearn.
You want to tell our people who wanted to come and do the exam, let's say. So what approach you want to tell them that they should?
I just want them to come and meet me.
Right.
Bring your questions.
Right.
No question is a stupid question. And then I would tell you how this exam is being designed, how it is being marked, what is expected, and what you can do to achieve that.
Right.
So
here I'm smiling because I do remember another thing that Navpreet used to tell us: don't start with saying "I know," like you used to tell us. You don't know. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for explaining so well. It's a time for a little commercial break, so we're going to continue the talk from here. So let's take a small commercial break. वेलकम बैक आफ्टर द ब्रेक. हमारे पास यहाँ पे स्टूडियो में मौजूद हैं नवप्रीत अरोरा, जो कि अपना आइल्स का इंस्टीट्यूशन रन कर रही हैं, एंड देन वी हैव विशाल मलिक, हु इज सक्सेसफुली रनिंग एन इमिग्रेशन फर्म. सो विशाल, आई जस्ट वांट टू नो व्हाट आर द चेंजेस दैट हैपेंड आफ्टर द कोविड इन इमिग्रेशन.
Well, there's been some good changes and obviously some bad changes, unfortunately.
Let's talk about the good ones first.
Okay, we'll talk about we'll talk about the good. I mean, the good is obviously last year there was a great opportunity for about 90,000 international students and other temporary residents. So people who otherwise maybe thought that there was no hope of getting their PR, or they just graduated maybe because of COVID, they're having trouble finding a job. So last year there was a great opportunity for these people to get their
Sorry
PR.
to cut you. Did students have to do the same amount of hours that they used to do before COVID, or the hours are increased now? So I did heard something about that.
So they were being a bit flexible in terms of working hours. I mean, yes, they were being a bit flexible in terms of working hours, because otherwise it's 20 hours.
20, 22,
So they were being a bit more lenient with that, because obviously everyone's financials were stretched at that time. So this year, people were expecting and hoping for a similar program. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that yet. But the good news of 2022, you could say, is after 2 years of no express entry draws for federal skilled workers. And these are, foreign workers who are back home. They have very valuable job experience, but, there's no draws that are happening. The borders were closed, so there was no way for them to come here. So the good news is that after 2 years, the Canadian government has said in July we will start these draws again. More good news is that they are now committing that we will resume our 6-month processing time. That's their service standard.
So it's more faster, I guess, than before.
It's more going back to what it was pre-COVID. And that also couples with some bad news in that there's tons of people who had applied for PR over the last couple of years.
Yes, before COVID, right?
Yeah, and during COVID, and they're still waiting. We've had some clients, they applied.
So are they opening those files now, or they're still
they're catching up.
Delay?
And that was part of the reason they paused the draws, right? Because they recognized, we had 90,000 temporary residents come through. We have all these people who have applied, and we don't have enough officers working. Just like the rest of Canada and a lot of the world, there's high job vacancies right now. And that's caused a lot of backlog.
A lot of refugees were coming too. That's like another, category.
Another category.
That's from Afghanistan, these days from Ukraine. So, there's that. So I think it's more, the government maybe bit off more than they could chew. They weren't expecting this many people, and they weren't expecting to be down so many staff. So the good news is it's
perfect. Navpreet, can you tell us a little bit about the citizenship you were talking about, that you want to give us some information? People don't know exactly what citizenship is.
Exactly. No, I want to talk about that, because many calls we get on everyday basis, and people have no clue that how one can get citizenship. So you have to be here in this country 3 years out of 5 years, and which counts to be 1,095 days. But now I'll be talking about the process and the procedure. So the first thing is that you cover those 1,095 days here, and then you are ready to apply for your citizenship in this country. And I always feel this Canadian passport is something that we all want to have.
That's why we are here.
That's why we are here. And last 10 years, God knows, 15 years or 6 years, you have been working on getting there, and now you are there to get your finally you are there to get your citizenship. So for citizenship, you need English language competencies. So although English language competencies are not very high, it is CLV4 in listening and speaking only, and it is called a CELPIP LS exam. However, many people out there, they do not have even CLV4 competencies. And if they have more higher competencies, they are very good in English, they are conversing, they are listening, they are doing some reading, writings at their office work. Even then, unfortunately, when they go to the exam, they just get so nervous, and then they say, okay, what did I do? I messed up there. So because I was not aware of this is how the exam is being administered, and this is how the exam is being designed. So my recommendation is always, the first thing is get your English language clear done. So once you are done with that, we offer power program for CELPIP LS program. We have weekdays classes, we have weekend classes. Every support will be provided to you. All you have to come is bring your open-mindedness to learn, and I just need your 10 hours. It's a very short program. It's a very short program, depending on what level of English you have. So there are students, if let us say you are at a higher level, intermediate level, so then we give them, one mock test or assessment test, and then they run through the whole program, whole one test, and they get to know, okay, this is what I have to do there. So that is the one service that we offer. But if somebody is just sitting at, CLV4 or, at a lower intermediate level, level, then we have to give them a course program.
Okay.
So it's a 10 hours power course wherein, you know, I cover 3 days for speaking and 2 days for listening. And they meet.
And that is online?
No, in person and live sessions,
okay,
both are provided.
Okay.
And then there are people who are not even reaching at CL4, जिनका जो English का level होता है वो बहुत कम होता है, तो लेकिन उन्होंने भी citizenship तो लेनी होती है, तो उनको हम फिर pre self LS program में देती हूँ, तो pre देती हूँ,
उनके लिए भी कुछ
उनके लिए भी होता है, तो उनके लिए मैं 10 hours का program बनाती हूँ, 20 hours का, depending on उसकी क्या जरूरत होती है, क्या उनका level है. तो again पहले दिन उनकी assessment होती है, उनको assess किया जाता है, फिर core competencies बताई जाती हैं उनको कि ये जो exam है ये कैसे design किया गया है. So I will be talking a bit about this exam, how it is designed. So you should not
के बारे में बताइए थोड़ा.
Yeah, so
what a student should expect when they go in the examination.
Yes. Yeah. So मैं थोड़ा सा बताऊंगी इसमें कि आपको घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है, डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये जो है ये academic exam नहीं है. ये जो हम everyday language produce करते हैं, everyday language use करते हैं, उसी को ही डिजाइन किया गया है इसको. लेकिन फिर भी अगर आप सोचो कि मैं everyday बोल लेते हूँ, yeah, when you're talking with the people, you know, around you, you are not even looking at whether my responses are, you know, absolutely great responses or, you know, half-baked responses. So when you are going for this exam, you have to prepare yourself to know, okay, these types of questions are going to come and this is how I'm going to, you know, respond to that. And my power programs are, you know, in a way magic program. I feel, you know, happy to say that, because whatever students learn, they not only learn for this exam only, when they go out, they can use those competencies in their everyday communication also.
Because आपका इतना experience है, you have been like through so many different cultures and students कि आपको exactly पता है कि उनको क्या चाहिए.
Absolutely.
How should I design the way that they will gonna, you know, grasp it more easily? So that's amazing. I wanted to, you know, do it again if I can.
Come on. Yes, Laila, it's been 20 years I have been teaching in this country, and I know if I get, you know, a group of, let us say, Punjabi students, I know what their shortcomings are.
That's what I mean.
If I'm going to get some kind of a, you know, Arabic students, so I know how I can quickly help them. So different people from different cultures, they bring, they bring rich culture, rich language, different perspectives. So I try to put them on to the CLB competencies with that. So the language is the first step. So after when they are done with the language, then we help them booking the exam also. And if they want some material, we help them everything that they require for that. So once it is done, exam is done, you get your result in 4 days. Within 4 days, you get the result. And after that, we have this immigration consultant people here. So they will file your citizenship application, and all we'll be doing is we'll invite you one time, or if it can be done remotely, we'll tell you what documents we require from you. So you submit those documents digitally or, you know, paper, anyone that you are comfortable at. And then our immigration team, you know, they file citizenship application. And I must tell you that we are very prompt in filing applications. So if we get everything within 24 hours or within 12 hours, we can file that.
Time is money. That's the best thing. Everything is so quick.
Time is money. And we do not say, okay, after, you don't have to call us back or whether my application is filed or not. So we are very quick in doing that.
So if I ask you quickly, because we are almost about to finish our program, like it's पता ही नहीं चला कि 45 minutes कितनी जल्दी गुजर गए हैं.
पर लाला, sorry, मैंने आपको एक चीज इसमें जरूर बताना चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि उनका फिर so once the examination is the file is submitted, there is another step for citizenship.
Okay, I thought you were done. Okay,
there's another step.
Go ahead.
So what that step is that when you file the citizenship application, and then you will get an email from IRCC, and then they will ask you to write another test, which is a knowledge test. So which is a knowledge test, and we also provide help with that knowledge test. So they send you a booklet. If you can read yourself, amazing. You can prepare yourself.
The general knowledge questions.
Yes, general knowledge question about Canada. And once you pass that exam, then you have oath, and then you go for passport. And then we also help with passport, you know, if they want to apply for passport.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So it's a procedure that I think for 1 year, it's starting from beginning to the end, it's kind of 1 year. Lots of stuff.
One quick question that I wanted to ask, is somebody exempted from IELTS?
Yes. So for citizenship or otherwise?
For citizenship, actually. I think it's a requirement, or otherwise?
So for citizenship, IELTS or self-LS. For language, so it is a must. But people who have done their high school from Canada, or you know, or they are from English-speaking country and they have done their you know, degrees, diplomas, they are exempted.
Amazing. Vishal, I'm going to ask you. This is your camera. If you can share your phone number, your email address, how people can get connected with you.
Sure, yes, we can be reached via email. Our email is info@10provincesimmigration.ca. 10 is TEN. We can also be reached via text message or phone 647-838-7846.
And Navpreet?
Yes, you can reach me at info@englisheducators.com, and the phone number to reach is 647-701-2834.
Thank you so much for coming, Vishal and Navpreet. It was amazing having you on the show, and the immense knowledge you shared, that's awesome. I hope that a lot of people have, earned so many things from you guys.
Thank you very much, Laila. Thank you very much
you
for having us. Thank you.
So यहाँ पे वक्त हुआ है हमारे शो का इख्तिताम का, तो आपसे नए वीक में एक नए गेस्ट के साथ दोबारा मुलाकात होगी. तब तक आप सब अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा और देखते रहिए आवाज़ एंटरटेनमेंट. दिस इज लाइला आतिफ साइनिंग आउट फ्रॉम लाइमलाइट विद लाइला आतिफ. अल्लाह हाफिज.